This full moon is really weird. We're sweeping something under the rug as something really provocative is coming to light regarding vulnerable leadership stepping up amidst panicked communication. And there's a lot of serious things that I'm going to be speaking on in this video, so I want to make it clear that my intention is to look at the symbolism in a way that I find resonant with what could happen, and I don't mean to bring anything up as if I'm creating it. I hope that's clear that I report on things. I don't create, I just speak what the symbolism says, and that astrology is a direct mirror. And it's not even that this full moon itself is particularly gnarly in a lot of ways, it's just that it's entirely, completely weird. So let's get into it. So if you're looking forward to diving into what exactly we can expect from this full moon in Libra, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you are always up to date with what the stars have in store for you. Hi there, I'm Maren. I'm an astrologer, an author, an entrepreneur. Wear several hats, all within the same vein though, and I combine Hellenistic astrology, modern astrology, provide you with some grounded guidance. This video is brought to you by my modern magic community, so if you're not already a member of the many of us that are astrology enthusiasts together, learning, growing, getting exclusive content and early access to courses one-on-one, you can check that out down below. Would love to have you join. So March 28th at 2:58 p.m. Eastern Time is the exact full moon in Libra. And the sun is in Aries opposite the moon in Libra because full moons are always times of opposition, and sun is opposite the moon. And the sun will be in the first decan of Aries, the very first decan of the zodiac, representing a Mars-ruled sign in a Mars-ruled decan. So it's associated with the Two of Wands tarot card, but it's this double Martian energy, showing someone who hasn't necessarily won a battle yet, but someone who is very empowered before a fight. It is pure fire energy of like, I am ready to take this on, I am ready to ignite and challenge the world. And what makes this even more provocative is the fact that the sun is exactly conjunct asteroid Chiron and Venus in Aries, which are underneath the sun's beams, right at 8 degrees of Aries. So Venus is in its exile because it's opposite to the sign that it rules, which represents a bit of being in a foreign country, because Venus is harmonizing, it's unifying, and it rules the more harmonious opposite sign of Libra. So in Aries, its significations of uniting come through the lens of independence, and therefore I think of Venus in Aries as this extreme, like, independent feminine energy. It's very, very feminist energy of putting yourself out there as a strong, independent, like, woman kind of energy, like bringing unity through your independence. It's a very, very strong-willed form of harmonizing, and very, very independent feminine figure indicated here. But with Chiron there, and Chiron being an indicator of vulnerability and like heart ripped open, very, very sensitive energetic antenna, there's an openness about insecurities being unveiled here. Like the authority at hand is just ripping its heart open and being so open about its vulnerability and its struggles and its independence on its own. And with the sun often being an authority figure, I see a woman stepping up into power who may not feel ready to do so. Because with Venus in Aries, it could be just a feminine energy of someone who's a provider, but this fiercely independent energy with Chiron there definitely indicates I don't have it all figured out yet, but I'm gonna have to step up and do this anyway. And I'm keeping my eye on this very, very clearly, even though I'm filming this on New Year's Eve on December 31st, because my early spring schedule is ridiculous, so I'm getting a bit ahead during my winter break. And I'm definitely looking to the leaders of countries who might be women, or the second in command of countries who might be women, because it looks like a very vulnerable, but very abrasive stepping up into power, and I do wonder if Vice President Harris will be stepping up during this time for any number of reasons, because the Mars North Node conjunction near her ascendant looks like a very troubled time of success. And the moon then is in the first decan of Libra, which is associated with the Two of Swords tarot card. I have my moon in this decan, although earlier by degree, and it's very much a card in a decan, therefore, of sweeping things underneath the rug, because it is a Venus-ruled sign in a moon-ruled decan. They're both planets that are very pleasing, very smooth. They are not here to cause conflict. So with the moon there, it looks like an uninterrogated problem, or something where the elephant in the room is being incredibly glossed over, and there's some big stepping up into power or big unveiling, and we're like, okay, like, that's fine, I guess we're doing this, like that kind of energy, which is strange. And the sun and moon themselves are not at all harmed by Mars or Saturn, which is rare, but we'll get into the other planets. So if you already know what houses this is taking place in your chart with Aries and Libra as the axis, let me know in a comment down below maybe how the microcosm is appearing in your life. So Saturn is separating from a square to Uranus within 3 degrees, which still makes it an engagement. And this is high tensions between progressive efforts and more stubborn volatility from the past-oriented movements. And the first part of 2021 is very, very colored by this dynamic, this friction that leads to lasting institutional change. But the big red flag that I see here is Mercury in Pisces conjunct Neptune square Mars on the North Node in Gemini. Mercury is already in its exile and its fall in Pisces. It is royally lifted up and it is at home in Virgo. Communication does very well in the very discerning sign of Virgo. On the other hand, it definitely has some trouble in the more nebulous, abstract, creative sign of Pisces. And this is like being in a foreign country with a lack of resources. Conjunct Neptune makes it inebriated. It's literally like being on drugs in a foreign country with no resources, which can be beautiful in some ways, like in a kind of artistic, romanticizing way, but it can also be more often than not incredibly delusional and harmful. And it could be great for artistic unveiling, like releasing something around that, but it's terrible for truth and for clarity. And Mars in Gemini on the obsessive increase orienter of the North Node is this insatiable drive for data, or this cutting through, like voraciously interrogating information. Like we are looking for truth and a who did this so voraciously in our own life, but in the public, it's like, oh, this is fine, this is normal. Honestly, I think that a powerful world leader is harmed or is fallen ill, could be an assassination, could be an illness, and someone is having to step up. We're all like, what the fuck happened? Who did this? And we're also like, I guess this is what's happening, and she is stepping up. And frankly, the synastry with the United States has me absolutely shook, because the South Node is exact by degree on the United States' ascendant, and the South Node is an indicator of decrease or letting go. The ascendant is the identity or the character of that body. Therefore, it's like the leader, or at least the essence of vitality for the country. The moon is crossing the United States' Saturn in the 11th house of groups, friends, political affiliations. The United States is basically having its Mars return on top of its descendant and Uranus, which is a very volatile indicator of a known enemy or other party interfering. So I'm wondering if there's some opposition, like the other party is harming a leader, whether that's foreign or domestic. Jupiter is crossing their moon, which rules their 8th house of deaths or losses. And looking at, you know, Biden and Harris's charts, Harris was born under the opposite full moon, so it's igniting this as if she's stepping up into like a flipped polarity role. This is happening on Biden's Uranus-Saturn descendant, again an indicator of known enemies or like opposition in another party. What the fuck is like what I had to say about this? Upon realizing this, I am definitely hoping that this is an event that makes sense in a more welcoming way at the time, that it's not, because the sun and the moon are not particularly harmed, which is so strange because the confusion is so high. So it looks like there could be an event that maybe looks fine, but ends up being like, what's happening? And it's like, President or Vice President Harris is stepping up, but it's all fine, don't worry about it. Like, maybe he has COVID or like an illness or an injury, and we're like, it's fine, like it's gonna be okay, or he's injured, and like, it's weird. Let's pull a tarot card for more explanation. We have the Ace of Cups reversed, and the Ace of Cups is the pure essence of emotional fulfillment and inspiration and comfort. There is no comfort here. This is so interesting because it's like this full moon itself is not majorly harmed, but it has some gnarly indicators of not being favorable overall. Like the ending, the outcome is not favorable, and the Ace of Cups reversed is like, you do not have the fulfillment right now to experience this welcomingly. Work Your Light Oracle deck card. Let's get some guidance for everyone here. The Age of Light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. So whatever happens in this area of your life, which the moon itself is not super harmed, which means that I would not be worried myself, or you all, I would not be worried about where this is happening. Like, it's just an ending in whatever the Libra house is in your chart. But think about the celebration or the culmination in the Libra house of your chart being something that you've been training for lifetimes, and you finally made it. So if you enjoy this and you would like to check out more, check out my Modern Magic membership community. Would love to have you join. Sorry if I'm a bit low energy. This was pretty dire to notice the correlations for, and so I hope that it's helpful in the way that it's presented. But in the meantime, like, subscribe, do all the things. Very interested for any comments that you have down below, and I will see you in the next one.
Yeah. You must be blinded by the lights. We came to shine here. Watch it look daytime in the night.